The 2003 invasion of Iraq marked a turning point in U.S. foreign policy. It unleashed chaos and instability in the region. The war had devastating consequences for the Iraqi people. It also created a power vacuum that allowed for the rise of sectarian violence and extremism. In the aftermath of the invasion, the U.S. faced the daunting task of rebuilding a shattered nation. This effort was complicated by the ongoing insurgency and the deep divisions within Iraqi society. The Bush administration argued that the war was necessary to liberate Iraq from Saddam Hussein's brutal dictatorship. They claimed that Iraq possessed weapons of mass destruction that posed a threat to the United States and its allies. However, no such weapons were ever found. The war in Iraq remains a highly controversial topic, with many critics arguing that it was an illegal war of aggression based on false pretenses. The war had a profound impact on Iraq's economy. The country's infrastructure was devastated by years of conflict and sanctions. Oil production, which was the backbone of the Iraqi economy, plummeted. The war also led to a sharp increase in poverty and unemployment. Amidst this backdrop of devastation and uncertainty, the U.S. government took steps to secure its interests in Iraq. One such step was Executive Order 13303, signed by President George W. Bush on May 22, 2003. This order had far-reaching consequences for Iraq's oil industry and the country's future. Executive Order 13303, signed just weeks after the fall of Baghdad, was a highly controversial measure. It granted sweeping legal immunities to U.S. corporations and individuals operating in Iraq. The order effectively shielded them from any legal liability for their actions in the war-torn country. This included immunity from Iraqi law. The stated aim of EO 13303 was to encourage foreign investment in Iraq's reconstruction. The Bush administration argued that by protecting U.S. companies from legal risks, the order would create a more attractive environment for investment. They believed this would help to rebuild Iraq's economy and restore stability to the country. Critics, however, saw the order as a blatant attempt to prioritize U.S. corporate interests over the needs of the Iraqi people. They argued that the order amounted to a form of legal impunity that allowed U.S. companies to operate with little regard for the rule of law. EO 13303 became a lightning rod for anti-war activists and critics of U.S. foreign policy. They argued that it exemplified the Bush administration's true motives in Iraq. These critics saw the war as a resource grab driven by a desire to control Iraq's vast oil reserves and to benefit U.S. corporations. The order's provisions extended beyond legal immunity. It also granted U.S. companies control over key sectors of the Iraqi economy, including oil and gas. This access, coupled with the sweeping legal protections, raised concerns about exploitation and the potential for U.S. companies to profit from the chaos of war. Executive Order 13303's provision of legal immunity was perhaps its most controversial aspect. This immunity applied to a wide range of activities, including those related to the oil and gas sector, infrastructure development, and security contracting. U.S. companies operating in Iraq were effectively shielded from lawsuits and legal action arising from their activities. This included claims related to environmental damage, human rights abuses, and even negligence. This broad legal protection created a climate where accountability was lacking. The order's provisions went beyond simply protecting U.S. companies from Iraqi law. It also shielded them from legal action in U.S. courts. This meant that Iraqi citizens who suffered harm as a result of the actions of U.S. companies would face significant hurdles in seeking redress. The Bush administration argued that this sweeping immunity was necessary to encourage U.S. companies to invest in Iraq's reconstruction. They claimed that without these protections, companies would be reluctant to operate in such a volatile and uncertain environment. Critics, however, contended that the immunity provisions created a dangerous precedent. They argued that it allowed U.S. companies to operate with impunity, undermining the rule of law and potentially leading to exploitation and abuse. The lack of accountability, they argued, would ultimately harm both the Iraqi people and the long-term prospects for stability in the country. Please help subscribing and liking contribute to a humanitarian fund helping others today. Thank you.